Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. Here we are again. It is finally cooled down here in San Diego. It was so blasted hot all summer. Usually it doesn't cool down until after Halloween. So I'm being cheap and I'm drinking a 25-cent Diet Coke. And I have, a tasty little dessert. I have some frozen strawberries. What I did is I bought a box of strawberries when they were on sale for 99 cents. And then I froze them. And then I bought some strawberry yogurt at Walmart for $1.74. So this is going to be a pretty good dessert, and it's not expensive. So, what we have to do is say, okay, this is the way things are now. This will do. So, making the most of it, adjusting to the way things are. Saying, okay, maybe things are different now, but things can still be good. So today I went up to do my walking, and I'm conserving my energy because I'm working a lot. And so after my walking, I went to Walmart and I bought a pie. I will freeze these. It was marked down for 30 cents. So I bought this pie after I already bought 4 pumpkin pies. The reason I bought these is because they were really fresh and I wanted a snack while I was downloading my videos. So I bought 4 pumpkin pies. So this is 5 desserts. And then Walmart finally got chocolate chips, so I bought a package of chocolate chips for $1.99 because I couldn't find them and I was freaked out, but no need. Also, I bought a box of bouillon, 1 chicken and 1 beef for the stockpile. And then I bought 3 packages of gravy. These come in handy. The brown gravy is 30 cents. This one was 74 cents and this one was 30. As to why, I don't know, but I'll be buying more of these, a couple at a time, because they come in handy, like if you want to make a hot meat sandwich. And then I bought 1 can of Rotel tomatoes and 1 can of tomato sauce, and then I use that. I grind these Rotel tomatoes in the blender, and then I can use it just like salsa. And one of my favorite things to do is lettuce with Rotel tomatoes, little piles, and Parmesan cheese. That is a good salad. And then I'll probably make some goulash, so I need some tomato sauce. And then I had to swing by the 99-cent store. So they have this fruit. It looks like cherry. Yeah, cherry with fruit cocktail for 50 cents. And then I bought 1 package of sugar for 50 cents. So that's what I bought. So, if you stockpile, so now I have lots of pies in my freezer. I'll probably give some of those to my son. So, I learned, learning. Buy pies marked down for 30 cents. That's stupid. You get 2 for the price of 1. And they're fresh enough for my purposes. So I got home and I had 2 twice baked potatoes with chili and cheese on top and a pile of mashed potatoes. That was good left over. So I'll be looking into that. Okay, so now what I'm working on is my resale business, and I keep hammering away at this because that was my plan when I decided to retire out of hairdressing. And when I first started, I thought there's no way you know, like people who have been jewelry and collectibles, there's no way I can catch up. Well, I should have known better because I have studied tons of things, and even some of the most difficult take you maybe 2 to 6 years to learn. So I started out with junk jewelry, clothes, and various junk at the swap meet. Okay, the swap meet is a problem if it rains. So what we have now, first we had the blazing heat, now we have the rain. And you can suffer the elements and do it, but it's very unpleasant. But it's a good way to unload the junk that you didn't sell otherwise. I started a store on eBay and I sold sunglasses, watches, and clothes. And so my idea was to buy this item for $1 and sell it for $20. So that would be a step up from the swap meet. But as I was going along, this just happened. I came up with this thing. Why do you want to post this stuff? What you want to do is learn how to post and sell. And I started learning how to do that, and then I discovered that for $20 I can buy an item that is going to sell from 100 up. So my goal would be to learn how to sell 10 per day. Also, I noticed that the items that I bought, the clocks, were a much nicer inventory than all those damn bags of clothes. Even purses can be very messy. Okay, so now I was coming home from the shopping center, you know, where I go up there. While I load my videos on YouTube, I walk. And sometimes they take forever to load. And I was on the way home and I saw a motor home, older, but in decent condition, pulling a small truck with a cab over. And I said, you know what that is? Same like money. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. You know, there's motor homes, there's trucks with cab overs, and up here where these fires were, I'm sure there's people that wish they had them, because who wants to stay in the convention center? So you can buy and sell that kind of stuff too, and you're going to make a lot more than $100. Okay, so then I used to know this lady. I mean, I still know her, but she hadn't seen me for a long time. And some people, for some reason, there is something about me, they have to put me down. I don't know what it is. It really kind of makes me laugh. And she said, "You don't read." And I'm thinking, are you stupid? I just went to college for 10 plus years. No, I wasn't doing leisure reading, but definitely I was reading. The last place I moved, I purged my books, medical and nursing, and it filled the whole dumpster. That is why there is no need to tear up America over George Floyd. You just get someone, and this is the prosecutor's job. You get someone on the stand to explain to these people asphyxiation, or if you are a nurse, you should have some knowledge of cardiogenic shock. Or you ask the defendant to have someone put him in the same chokehold, and if he survives, he can go home. He probably won't want to take the deal. I should have been a lawyer. I really should. Okay, so I don't read, right? Okay, now, I read a book one time, and it was about a rich lord. This was a fiction book, and it was a stupid book, but it stayed with me. We'll get into that. And there was a lord, and he was captured, and he was in war, and he was thrown in a dungeon. And you guys have heard me talk about this book. It was a book. And anyway, he was thrown in a dungeon, and eventually he was sold into slavery. So being sold into slavery was a big step up from the dungeon. So when he finally got out and he was in slavery, he was given a dwelling. He kept his dwelling fairly clean. He did his work. He came home. He washed himself. He washed his clothes. he made a pot of food and he read. This is what he did. So the point of this is, if you take these people with money and you strip them of all their money, as soon as they're capable, they'll start doing exactly the same thing that they did when they were wealthy. So, a lot of people are saying that when the government owns all the farms, all the property, and all the ability to buy and sell, perhaps we will be little better than slaves. Okay, now, I want to tell you another thing. Now, where did I write this? On my mom's side, there were ranchers. The ranchers would work all year, and then the ranchers and the ranch hands would go to town and sell the cattle. And the ranch hands would be given their pay, and they would spend all their money, and then the ranchers would buy provisions for the entire next year, and then by the time it was time to go back to the ranch, all the ranch hands were penniless, and they would have to work again for the rancher, right? But fortunately for them, the rancher bought provisions for the entire year. Isn't this kind of the same thing back if we go to, a lot of people say the government owning the farms, property, and the ability to buy and sell and giving us a basic income is kind of the same thing in a way. But on the other hand, if you spend every penny you are given, then you're like the ranch hands. Okay, on the rich guy, if you buy food, not too extreme, but whatever you need, I'm not saying you have to be dull and all you can do is read, but you know what I'm saying. Draw your own conclusions there. Okay, so now, no. Okay, no. So, this is what the rich guy did. He did his work, he came home, he washed himself and his clothes, he made a pot of stew, and he read books. So now I'm working on stews, soup, beans, big batches of spaghetti, enchiladas, macaroni and cheese, and lasagna. Those potatoes were really good that I made leftover last night. Tonight, and then I made macaroni and cheese, I think it was 2 nights ago, with pork sausage. That was good. And tonight I have some walnut mark pizza sauce and some pizza crust mix, and what I will do is I have pork sausage in the leftover from my little package of pork sausage, and I will just sprinkle it with some Italian seasoning, fry it, and I will make myself some little pizzas, and I will show you. Okay, so now this is what the rich guy did, and then, of course, he came out of being poor. Now, so this is about I don't read. Okay, I have been watching ebooks. I've been watching videos. I watched a video, and it was The Science of Getting Rich by Brian Tracy. I don't know if that's the correct video, but in the video, he said, if you read 30 books is like a master's degree. And he also says to get up and read books in the morning. So what I do is I drag the video over to my TV, and I have been doing crafts. Here's my little blanket. It's coming along. It's not done, but this is what I do when I relax. And so I have watched tons of audiobooks. In fact, audiobooks can be watched 2 and 3 at a day. So like in 10 days, you would watch 30. Like me, I work at home. So now, so that was Brian Tracy. The Science of Getting Rich is an audiobook that I watched, and it said, essentially, if you get it into your mind, you want to be rich, you could buy a farm. Well, now we go back to, if the government owns the farms, the property, and the ability to buy and sell, then that is going to take a big chunk out of the wealth-producing citizens. Okay, so now you will notice certain things about wealthy people. Yes, I have been around some. I haven't exactly been wealthy myself. In fact, quite the contrary. They have libraries with lots of books. They have everything they need, like the rancher. So when you have everything you need, and you can go anywhere you want, and you have been anywhere you want, where you most of the time are is at home, in your nice home, and you socialize. So, no. This is about nice parties. I used to get myself invited to them. I don't know how it happened. I don't know how it started. And when you go to a nice party, generally people will gravitate towards attractive people. That's just the way it is in life, like it or not. First you got to get invited, then you got to be attractive, and people gravitate to you and you chat. That's what they like to do. They like to socialize. They have parties, they have nice things, they have the nice life, and so you chat. So I'll give you an example. I went to a party and I sat down, and this couple came up to me and they said, "Do you mind?" And they sat with me, and the man said, "I have a 17th century piano." And I said, "Oh, really?" I go, "Do you play?" And he says, "Oh, no, I just own them." You know, we laughed. And then he said, one time, this is one of the things, I went to a party at Liberace's in Palm Springs. And when we got there, as we would enter, they had a place for you to check in your mink coats. And I go, "You need a mink coat in Palm Springs?" And, you know, we laughed. And he said, "We went in, and these parties Liberace would give, he would sell antiques and collectibles. This is one of his hobbies. I think he has a museum in Las Vegas. And his house in Palm Springs was up for sale for $500,000. Which is not much money these days. And so he said they got into the party, and they were looking around, and they said to themselves, "My gosh, all the stuff is so overpriced." Just about this time, a lady said in a loud voice, "My God, this stuff is so overpriced." And Liberace came up to her and he says, "Ma'am, follow me." And he took her, and they escorted her to the place to get her coat and to get out. And so, you know, we laughed, and I said, "Well, then what did you do?" He said, "Well, we didn't say anything about the price. That was for sure." And then, you know, we laughed, and so that is what we would do. We would chat. So now, because of my life, I've had 9 lives. Okay, I can kind of understand what happened with Cunanan, who killed Versace. First of all, Cunanan was supposed to be smart. He was from San Diego and he went to Bishop School. 1, you need to be attractive, which he wasn't anymore. 2, you do not need to be a problem, like the lady, you know, who said the stuff was too high. So he wasn't attractive, and he was a problem, so he wasn't welcome in these circles, and he wasn't young enough. Now, that brings me into some insight I have with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay, Ghislaine Maxwell wasn't that young and attractive anymore. She was charming. And Epstein was wanting to mix and mingle. And I think he said it the best, is I find out what they want and I give it to them. Well, what they want is they want young, attractive, engaging people. Sometimes it's men, sometimes it's women. And this is what he provided. Once they were old, once they were not attractive, or once they were not a problem, they were no longer welcome. This is what happens. So in both cases, I think it was, you know, this is what the problem is. So now, as smart as Cunanan was, you think he would know, but no, he was drug-addled, and I think that's probably what happened. So, now, I have one more thing to say to you guys. In the glam room with Caitlyn Jenner and her makeup artist. Okay, first of all, I started following her, Caitlyn Jenner, recently. The makeup in the glam room with Caitlyn Jenner and her makeup artist. The makeup demonstration was really good. Another one who did a really good her makeup artist demonstration was Roseanne Barr. So I watched it only once, but I'll probably watch it about 10 times, and it was really good. And also Caitlyn Jenner is a good cook, and she has some cooking on there, which I enjoyed too. So to me, she still seems like Bruce. And I thought, wow, you know, this is so totally interesting. So today I bought this. I didn't use her techniques because I don't have them under my belt yet. But I bought this for $3 because all of my makeup is getting all messed up. Let me give you the instructions in case you want to take a screenshot. So I was thinking to myself, if I had all the money in the world at my disposal, would I want to be a man? And I was thinking, and I thought, well, I already was like a man, because after a lot of people didn't know that after my divorce, my ex-husband, still controlled everything we did. And so what happened is, for years and years and years, I would act exactly like my ex-husband. So I kind of know I didn't dress like a man, but I acted exactly like my ex-husband, and I still do. And recently my son bought a house, and it is uncanny. He is so much like my dad and so much like my ex-husband, everything he does. And my ex-husband got me like him. And so, you know, what is the difference if you're acting like a man or if you're dressing and acting like a man? It's kind of the same thing if you think about it. So the show is really good, and for what I can see, she puts a lot of work in it. And another thing is, she has a heart for the younger transgenders, so I think that's nice too. Okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.